Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here. This is going to be another fantasy football video for 2023. We're singling out another wide receiver, not a rookie, but one who's making a bit of a comeback after a long layoff. So today we're going to talk a little wide receiver Calvin Ridley, what to expect, when should we draft him, when should we let somebody else take on that risk, what kind of pros and cons we got going on. I'm going to break all that down for you. So just please, all I ask is to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already done so, smash that like button, leave me a comment, and let's go. Calvin got a job. Way to go, young blood.
Football!
Okay, I've talked wide receivers going to new teams, but this is a little bit different. Probably harder to handicap than anything else. Toss in the fact, the 22 months or so before they tee it up in September is how long he'll be gone without playing. I guess somewhat similar to Deshaun Watson in a way, but I think probably he's going to have an easier time because he's not going to be in charge. He's not the quarterback. He's a wide receiver. He's going to play a part. He's going to try to fill a role. So all that kind of stuff goes well for him to be reacclimated to the NFL game shape, game life, all that good stuff. Well, the Jaguars traded for him, traded the Falcons. Calvin goes about 6'1", 190. So he's good size receiver. He's got great speed, 4.4-ish. Deep speed. He will play opposite Zay Jones. We're watching some highlight packages that I put together just in case you forgot how good he was, how good he gets deep, how he just, of course, he did have Julio Jones on the other side of him, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't put stutter step moves and just leave, and he gets himself wide open. He's similar to Justin Jefferson in that way, where he can just get open all the time. And that's what he had on some good looks from Matt Ryan, who he turned back into a pretty decent quarterback. So as you can see, well, he's going to be with Christian Kirk in the slot as well. So when he stepped away in 2021 for mental health reasons, which, he very could have had, then he got popped for the gambling thing and got the full year suspension. Well, did one correlate with the other? I never really read up on that. What the mental health issues was he having did he have a gambling problem? Maybe, I don't know, but there was two things that coincided together that created this problem. So I don't know if he got into the gambling while he was away from the team or what. But anyway, that's just all in the past. We'll put all that behind us. Clean slate for everybody. So there's no doubting the talent, obviously. The speed, the size, the route running, the hands, gets deep over the middle. I love the way he works the middle. He can get deep. He can run. He's like a five-tool friggin' baseball player. He just seems like he can do everything well. He can run the short intermediate routes well. He can get deep over the middle. He can run the sluggos and all the different routes and deep out corners and different stuff like that. So he's got everything you want in a true alpha wide receiver, which I don't believe Zay Jones and Christian Kirk were. They were two pieces to a puzzle that Ridley seems to be the third piece. Like Ridley can be the alpha. Zay is a really, really excellent, who also has size. He goes about 6'2", 200 pounds. So he's not small and he can run. He's just not quite as speedy as Calvin Ridley is. And then also you bring in another guy who just runs basically like an oversized slot receiver in Evan Ingram. All those guys, Zay Jones had 121 targets. Kirk had 133. Ingram had 98. And even Travis Etienne had like 45. So, I don't believe Lawrence cracked the 600 barrier in attempts last year. It was 580-ish. So he should probably easily get to, excuse me, he should easily get to 600 this season. They were throwing it about ninth overall, 36 times a game on average. And I think it got a bit inflated toward the end of the season when they went back-to-back weeks with a couple of big shootouts where he threw like 7 touchdown passes in 2 games. So I think that's where uh, you take into account that Lawrence only threw 25 touchdown passes last year, and 7 of them were in those 2 games. He had 10 games last year with 0 or 1 touchdown. So, I don't know if the target share is going to be there for Ridley. He should get opportunities. So I don't think catching 80 passes on 100 targets is out of the question for sure. 1,000 yards, I think he can get to, because he gets yards in chunks. They got him predicted for just under 1,000, but I think he can crack 1,000. I just don't know where the touchdowns, because he was pretty touchdown reliant, where he was like boom bust with Atlanta, where he'd go back to back games and he'd have 6 touchdowns in 2 games, and then he'd disappear. But he was getting to the point where he was scoring all the touchdowns before he left the field. So I don't know, splitting up, you're talking 8 to 9 touchdowns probably. So he's probably worth taking in the mid rounds, I'd say. He's going to have tremendous upside, obviously. But being off that long, you tend to lose something. So, if he gets off to a really slow start and he only catches 4 or 5 to 6 passes in the first 3 games of the season and things aren't going his way, maybe you look for a trade. If you're looking to buy low on somebody might want to give him up pretty quickly, and you might be able to steal him. And then he starts to get more acclimated and things get better. They go against different teams and they get into some part of the schedule where they might score more points and be a little bit more in the shootout range. So things like that. So anyway, that's going to be all for the video. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some sort of idea on where you might land on Calvin Ridley. I just like to do these videos for myself and for you, the viewer. So just do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and smash the like, all the comments, and till next time, see you soon.